You know what's really weird? You know what I realised?
What?
Like, exactly 1 year ago today, I put my first video on.
Oh! Jess! I'm joined by another person!
Yay!
This is so strange. My first special guest! How strange is that? Today we went to go and see The Hobbit, and Jess is like the #1 Hobbit fan. And I thought, who better to discuss The Hobbit with than the person who loves it the most?
Yay!
I think you were right in saying, because like we watched the second one yesterday.
Yeah.
So I think it was good that I hadn't, like, because the last time I watched the second one was last year.
Yeah.
In the cinema.
Yeah.
And I think if I'd gone back and watched the third one without watching the second one, I'd just been like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I cannot remember a single thing.
Especially at the start, I think maybe this is because I don't mind anything to do with the Smauggy stuff. I thought that was quite fun. But I thought maybe they should have maybe had him like yelling things at people or talking or something, because at the start he was just quite sort of a shadow floating around.
Yeah.
I was going, he doesn't seem that intimidating when he's just a big.
Did Benedict do like motion capture for The Hobbit? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Did he? So like when I was looking at you and he was like falling to his death and he had like this tongue like sticking out like going, oh! I was like, I can just imagine Benedict like flailing on the floor.
I think they basically filmed Benedict doing things and then they took pretty much what he did. So like if he turns his head while he's doing something, they'll do that. And things like that. Because obviously, as he says every 5 seconds, he's a biped mammal. He's not a dragon.
Was he? When did he say that?
He says it every time. He says he's not a lizard.
Who says?
Benedict.
Oh right, I was gonna say I don't remember Smaug like going, I am fire, I am death, I am a biped mammal.
Yeah, no, not Smaug. And so what did the necromancer do? Stood still mostly.
That scene was really creepy. That was still him, wasn't it? When
as far
it was,
as I know.
Sauron walking.
Yeah, when it was him being like, oh, you're gonna.
And nice sort of cameo from Kate Blanchett and Hugo Weaving and Christopher Lee kicking some ass.
Yeah.
Clearly Christopher Lee.
I really like, that was all 92-year-old Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
I liked Elrond got to wear his armour.
Yes, that looked very good.
Sexy Elrond.
Yeah.
And he got his like majestic Rivendell music.
Yes!
Which was kind of cool.
And there was actually quite a few parts that I like recognised the music from. I mean, it wasn't obviously the same track. No. But that I recognised different like snippets from different parts. Like when the elves came in, it sounded a lot like Lord of the Rings.
There's a bit, you know the bit with, here we are, there's a good bit coming up here, with Beorn as he jumped off the thing and like he turned into his bear and he's like, rah, he jumped off the eagle.
Sorry, I was just picturing the little kid then was Bane. No, that.
Were you thinking of Bane?
His Bane is called Bane. I said to my dad yesterday, I was like, since when are all the Lake Town people Welsh? Because they were like, Da, what's going on, Da? Right?
Yeah,
but I kept throughout the whole thing because I haven't read the book fully, so I haven't got up to like the whole Lake Town bit yet. So I didn't know that Bane was called Bane. So when we were watching the film, I thought they were calling him Bay. Bay. And I was like, oh, this is where that whole "oh, I love you, Bay" has come from this year. I was like, people have watched The Hobbit, they've seen it, and they're like, I love you, Bay. Because
they got Bane, but then they've got what are their names? Sigrid and Tilda. Was that their names? His daughters.
Something like that.
They're Jimmy Nesbitt's daughters.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not like, no offence to Jimmy Nesbitt, but like he must have married a supermodel or something.
I was going to say they are very, very pretty.
They're
girls.
really pretty.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah. I would have
Not
liked
just
to have
like,
seen like Bard's wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to see exactly
what
how
I was
they were
thinking
produced.
before when I was watching Puss in Boots. And I thought that Luke Evans, Bard, is basically like really reminds me of Antonio Banderas, but he's Welsh and younger.
Although, yeah, my mum, when we watched the second one yesterday, because it was the first time she'd seen it, she was like, "What's Orlando doing?" Like, on a boat, and I was like, "That's
my dad did that. He was like, "Is that Orlando?" I was like, "No, Dad, this isn't Pirates of the Caribbean."
I was like, "He's not playing two characters." That would be really awkward when they met each other. I was reminded downstairs because we were watching Indiana Jones. Have you seen the fourth one?
I haven't seen any of them.
Kate Blanchett's in Indiana Jones.
Oh.
Yeah, right. And I was like, oh, I've just seen you about 4 hours ago going like super freaky, all wah! And now you're sat here speaking Russian on my TV.
I really like Kate Blanchett and I really like Galadriel. I thought she was a little bit cheesy in the third one. Only when she's like carrying Gandalf.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. When
Like she picked him up and I was like,
you cannot carry him. There is no way.
She's just like, hello,
that you can
hi
pick
Gandalf.
him up
Let's
that
just...
easily, especially considering she's got nothing on her feet, and I'm like, you're walking over rocks and sticks.
I mean, I
and
get that
probably,
she's like
thorns.
magic and like all that stuff.
Yeah.
She's a bit damned.
Then she had the 1 minute of, oh yeah, I'm gonna go all really kick ass and turn bluey green.
Yeah.
And my hair's gonna go all raggedy.
Yeah.
It was very weird.
I
can't think of what it reminded me of.
It was a bit, yeah, it's a bit like The Ring or something, not the Lord of the Rings.
No! I know what it reminds me of. Do you remember the episode Doctor Who?
Yeah.
Where they had the siren on the pirate ship?
The mermaid.
The mermaid, yeah. And it went bluey greeny thingy when it went, rah! Yeah, it reminded me of that. That's what it reminded me of. I think for me, like, the whole film, like, I enjoyed it. I remember I said, when I came out the second one, I didn't really like it that much because I felt like it was really long. But then I watched it again yesterday, and I think I had to watch it that second time to really sort of go, oh yeah, I really actually really like this.
It twice in the cinema, the second one.
For this one, like, it reminded me a lot of Return of the King because of the whole big battle.
Mm.
But then some of the like smaller scenes I really enjoyed as well. Mainly like the Thorin Bilbo stuff. Yeah. That was really cute. Because I remember they had like the scene at the end of the first Hobbit where they're like, oh yeah, we're now friends and we're gonna have a hug and blah blah blah. Yeah. And then in the second one I don't really remember much between just the two of them. I watched it yesterday, so I can't be sure.
It was quite...
Trust you.
I thought Richard Armitage was epic in this one because he has to do quite a lot, but it made me laugh at that sort of times where he'd sort of change really suddenly, like he was talking to Bilbo and he'd go, oh yeah, Bilbo, yeah, you gave your word, well done, thanks, but anyway. And then he sort of came back.
That whole sort of like, when he took him to one side, he was like, I'm going to give you this and be all really happy, smiley. Yeah. Someone who's betrayed me. And then he went really, like, credit to Richard Armitage, he can play really different emotions, like real changes in emotions really well. Like the fact that he went from really sort of happy at the beginning to like, oh yeah, we found Erebor, blah blah blah, to then, oh yeah, I've gone crazy insane king and I'm just gonna stand on this pool of gold and fall down, get covered by it. The fact that he kept seeing Smaug like crawl underneath, I was like, hold on, wait, Smaug doesn't have a twin, does he?
That bit where he was talking to Bilbo after giving him the mithril, and he sort of said, he was like, oh, I will not part with one piece of it. And it did all like slow motion voice. Oh yeah. And it went all Smauggy because it was like a Smaug line from the previous film.
Oh, I did not peg on to that at all.
I was like, you're turning into Smaug.
Oh, because didn't they call it like dragon sickness?
Yeah. So
it's basically like whoever has it,
I guess it's like
turns into the dragonish.
Yeah.
Sort of like becomes really greedy.
Yeah, I suppose that's a bit like, it's a bit like what Martin Freeman called the Frodo heebie-jeebies. By the time they get to Mordor and he's all ring, and he's like, oh yeah, now I'm evil and stuff. And it's like...
He stands there like that for ages and then goes, the ring is mine.
Just gonna say, if I was Sam, I might have just like chopped his hand off or something. I'm going, I have not been walking for a year as much as I love you, Frodo.
I've got blisters on my feet.
I've just carried you up a mountain, bro, you know. Yeah.
I've got a crick in my back.
Just fought off
sunburn.
What's that about? The first time I saw it, because I saw it for the second time today, I saw it earlier in December.
I'm very late to the game.
I forgot about the eagles until they appeared.
Yeah!
Can you imagine how happy I was? Oh my goodness me.
I was sat there halfway through and we were talking about it and in my head I clicked, right, this is the Battle of Five Armies. I was like, I can count the elves, the dwarves, the humans and... Who have I missed?
Elves, dwarves, humans.
Who have I missed?
All the orcs.
The orcs, yeah. So I was counting like 4, and over I was counting 4, and Jess looked at me and she was like, I could tell, she was like,
she's sitting there like this.
What are you doing? And I was like, who's the 5th? Do you count Gandalf as like wizards? But I was just thinking like,
just Bilbo.
Yeah, and I was expecting like, what, is he going to call all his friends from the Shire or something? And I was like, there's 4, who's the 5th one? And she went, eagles. I was like, oh,
I was never sure of that, and then someone was like, oh well, you know the eagles.
The battle, it reminded me a lot of the Two Towers battle, because it was basically like, let's get all these men who don't really know how to fight, and like teach them how to fight in like 5 seconds,
Yeah.
and then throw them in and half of them die, and then let's get all the elves and half of them will die, except we didn't have Haldir's like really emotional death, thankfully, because that's hot.
No, we just had like
We had-
Thranduil doing a flip off his
Yeah.
elk.
Oh yeah, did his elk die?
I think his elk was okay. I hope his elk was okay.
Was it?
Did you
Oh,
see it
when
like get
when
up all the things and he
Yeah.
like decapitated
It was
them all at
so
once?
funny.
It was
Oh,
amazing.
I loved that bit.
I love
I was like,
Thranduil.
this is the ideal time for you to have a moose.
The ending, I'm going to spoil it now, I'm going to spoil how they end it, so be
Oh,
careful.
I liked the ending.
There was after the first film came out, I saw a thing on Tumblr and it said, oh, can you imagine, because of how it started, coming from Bilbo, Ian Holm Bilbo,
Yes, yeah.
where before the party, someone said, oh, can you imagine if the third one ends where they go back to Ian Holm and they say, and he's there, and then you hear Gandalf knocking on the door. I remember thinking, that would be the most perfect thing ever, and he's like, what about very old friends? And I was like, that would be the most perfect thing ever. They'll probably go back to Ian Holm, I don't know if they'll do that. And then they did it, and I full on cried. I like sat there and went, oh my god, because they did it.
See, I knew they'd go back to Ian Home.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how they'd end
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
I, thought they
I
might
figured
have
they'd go
ended
back.
it. I thought they might have, because what happened to Frodo in the first one?
He
Was
just
he
went-
still there?
No, he went, oh, I'm going to go find Gandalf. He went, I'm going to surprise him, and then ran off. So he went to sit by his tree.
See, because
for
I
Gandalf
half
coming on.
expected Frodo to still be there, but I forgot what happened in the first one.
For the-
I sort of liked how the whole ending of the film tied in with The Lord of the Rings. Obviously
Yeah.
with like that, and Thranduil sent Legolas off to find Aragorn.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There was a thing about that
Oh.
with someone.
Did no one like it?
No, people liked it. I thought
Aragorn's my favourite.
I thought it was quite
I'm
sweet.
very biased.
Like he said it, and you could hear the whole room sort of go, oh, Aragorn,
Yeah.
Aragorn.
But then you could also sort of sense the odd people who probably had forgotten Lord of the Rings and thought, who on earth is Strider?
But it was supposedly, if you're going by the films, which is fine,
Is he not meant
because
to
you
be
would.
born?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
it's-
is Legolas born? Because Legolas isn't mentioned in the Hobbit.
Legolas is like 2,000 years old. So
Oh, right.
He's alright.
Okay, he's fine.
Okay. But if you're going by the films, it's fine because Aragorn is what, 87 in Two Towers? He says to Eowyn.
Something
he's
like that,
87.
yeah.
So he'd be 27, at which point he would have left Rivendell, supposedly. I've
Yeah.
been speaking to somebody about this. Where he left when he was like 20-ish
Right.
or whatever, because he was brought up in Rivendell, wasn't he? I think, by Elrond
Yes,
and
yes,
people.
yeah.
But then, if you're going by the books, supposedly during The Hobbit, Aragorn was like 10.
Oh.
At which point he wouldn't be called Strider and wouldn't be
Oh.
some dude. But I don't know how true. But this is only me speaking to somebody who was like really into that sort of backstory of things.
Yeah,
So it's not really in the books and it's not really in the films. But if you,
I was gonna say,
might
like,
just let
I
it
think
slide.
that's the thing is, like, I've seen a lot of things online of people who are very Tolkien-esque, really unhappy, obviously, with the fact that it doesn't stray so far from the book, but it strays a little bit.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm the same with Harry Potter.
yeah,
So anyone who, like, goes to see a book movie adaptation that they really, really, like, follow won't be entirely happy. But with that, I'm not bothered.
no,
I was just like, oh, we got to mention, you know, they mentioned Gimli, like, once before.
Gloin
so-
totally was dressed like Gimli.
Yeah,
he had the
I thought-
helmet and everything.
He
Great.
came over and I went to my mum and I went, where's Gimli? And then I thought, oh, is he like a child?
Yeah, that's my wee lad.
yeah,
Gimli.
yeah.
That was one of the great bits. I love that.
I love that.
It's like,
yeah.
who's this mutant thing? And I was like, oh, you're going to be like Bezzy mates with him, Legolas?
Yeah.
What, you know? Which is one reason why
I
Tariel and
liked
Keely
that.
like initially annoyed me when I heard it was going to happen. Because I thought that kind of takes away from Legolas and Gimli. Okay, and by the
Yeah.
time Keely met his end, I was kind of, it was still sad,
That's the one thing we haven't yet talked about.
them dying.
Why did all three of them have to die? Do they all die in the book?
They all die in the book, yeah.
Right, okay. Because I wasn't sure. I knew Thorin died, and I
Yeah.
knew one of them died,
Yeah.
but I didn't know all three of
No,
them
they all
died.
die, which kind of sucks because Azog kind of gets what he wants because he cuts off the line of Durin right there.
because he said that, and I was like, don't be silly.
Yeah,
They're
he was
not
like,
all
well, this
gonna
one
die.
dies first, and then you die, and then
Yeah.
you die, and I went, well, you pretty much told us the rest of the film now,
Yeah,
Azog.
and I was like, don't be silly. One of them's gonna die, Thorin's gonna die, and then the other one's gonna be king of Erebor,
Yeah.
and then nothing. So who would be king now? Do
I
we
don't know. Maybe that's Balin in charge. But then
Do you reckon
again,
he should be eldest
Balin's
first?
going to end up in Moria, isn't he? Because next time we see him, he's in a tomb. Which kind of sucks because I like Balin. I was saying to you after we came out of the screen,
Yeah.
he pretty much had to make up the entire battle, Peter Jackson, and how they died.
Yeah,
So I pretty much come to terms with the fact that they were going to make Keely's death about Tariel, because that was kind of how it was going. Having Thorin's death about Azog, I thought it was really clever because I thought he's got to kill Azog still, but then I thought, You can't just have some randomer just come along and slice him. It's got to be Azog
I was
that
half
does it.
expecting. I was half expecting like Azog to kill Thorin and then Bilbo to come up and kill Azog like in the back, like be like invisible, but then that didn't happen. I must admit,
see you later.
from what little material you're telling me there is, Peter Jackson made a pretty good battle.
Yeah,
All
and
that.
I thought as well they in the book it was like, oh Thorin, bye Thorin. You know, he's like, oh sorry Bilbo, sorry we weren't mates for a bit. I know I was angry with you, but it's all good now.
Yeah.
And I
That
thought they
scene
did
was
quite
really
well.
nice though, like between Bilbo and Thorin. The whole, we are friends, we're gonna die as friends.
Because it did say,
well, we're not gonna die
because
as
I remember
friends.
actually
I'm gonna die with you,
saying in the book like Bilbo, it says Bilbo goes and weeps in the corner, and I thought I don't want to see Bilbo cry,
No.
but we did see Bilbo cry, and it's quite sad.
I must admit, when he was crying, he sounded like a strangled cat or something.
It's a bit like watching Moulin Rouge.
Yeah, watching Hugh McGregor cry. Like he was bent. It's because he was bent over, and you obviously couldn't see his face. So he had to make some sort of noise, but he made some sort of like noise.
Because he's sort of like, isn't he? Aw, I can't have a go because I do adore Bilbo. Tauriel was a thing for a while.
Yeah.
But I do like Tauriel. It's a bit annoying that they brought her in, they couldn't just have like a badass elf.
Yeah.
They were like, no, we have to give her a love story.
Yeah.
And even if it was just her and Keely, I could I'm not a big fan of that, but I could kind of like deal with it. But it's like, oh no, we'll have Legolas be in love with her as well. And it's like,
it's
like,
the sort of love triangle was really annoying. Because
like,
even in the third one, he was still like, oh yeah, I love you, so I'm gonna defend you to my dad.
Well,
while you're
like, you cannot command my heart.
Yeah.
Who wrote that line?
She's there crying over him being dead, and he's there like, oh, my heart's broken.
Oh no, that's so. I heard once that elves could die of a broken heart.
Really?
I heard that was a thing that they could get killed by. From Orlando Bloom, I think, said that once. And so I did spend the first time I saw the film, I thought, what if she just dies right there?
Even though I don't like the fact that they introduced her as a really random character, she's probably my favourite character.
She's pretty cool, and I think by the time it gets...
I really like Evangeline Lilly, so...
Yeah, I like mine. And Evangeline Lilly's really big on Tolkien, just putting that out there. She wouldn't, you know, she's quite into...
No. I don't think she would have accepted it if she hadn't. It'd be very interesting to learn Elvish. I think it'd be a very difficult language
I can't remember the woman's name. They've got a woman in there doing voice stuff with them.
Kudos
and,
to you, lady.
Teaching the dwarves how to go Dubekar and things like that.
Yeah, like Dwarvish and what would you call it? Orcish.
Yeah.
It reminds me of German, but a bit more angry and violent.
Yeah. We don't give enough credit to, I guess, Manu Bennett, who was Azog, who probably just had to speak Orcish.
I know Manu Bennett. Not personally.
I know Manu Bennett, he's my best friend.
He lives down the road, I have him on the phone every now and again. I know who he is, yeah. He's very good, I really like him.
And he has to speak a lot of Orcish.
So, last feelings and roundups of The Hobbit.
Okay.
And we'll stick to this film, not the whole series. We've been talking about for the entire video.
We did do a lot of, but I can't help it.
Final thoughts on what I was about to call BOFTA. Battle of the Five Armies, Botfa. I posted a picture after we came out, and my mum from downstairs just shouted, "Charlotte, yeah, what's Botfa mean?" I was like, Battle of Five Armies, you've just seen it. She was like, oh, okay.
I think I stopped comparing The Hobbit to Lord of the Rings a long time ago, because I've had 10 years loving Lord of the Rings. I'm just never going to like anything as much as I love that. I really like The Hobbit, I really love it, it's great. I really will miss the world of Peter Jackson's Middle-earth and things. And I think I really enjoyed Battle of the Five Armies, and I think any sort of cheesy bits and bits where you think that was a bit dodgy are completely made up for by the fact that it was like one big Peter Jackson goodbye hug.
Yeah.
Because he did so many little things and you go, I see what you did there, Peter Jackson. Just like little Lord of the Rings digs and stuff, and you just think, I love you.
I'm going to go with not exactly what you just said, but exactly what you said when you first went to see it, which was basically anything that I thought was a bit, oh, why did they put that in, or was that really needed, was made up for with the really epic moments. So the Thorin Bilbo stuff, the whole battle itself was just incredible. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and I still don't know where Peter Jackson's cameo is, so if you see Peter Jackson's cameo,
did he have one?
Let me know. I saw his daughter at the very start.
I was looking out for him, but I could not see him at all.
Haven't seen him yet.
So anyway, that was our very long-winded review of Battle of the Five Armies. Today is, as you know, New Year's Eve, except this won't be posted on New Year's Eve, so whatever you did on New Year's Eve, I hope you had a lovely time, and I wish you all a very happy New Year, and I will see you again in 2015. You'll see this lady again because we're going to be doing the Harry Potter tag together.
Yes, totally down for that.
My favourite thing, not hers.
Yeah, we're gonna argue.
So we're gonna argue over that because I will be able to blabber as much as she did in this video in that one.
Yeah.
That'll be very fun. Okay, well we'll see you soon and bye bye. You did my thing! Oh, I love it.